we have created this registration form and also we have created this login form using Bootstrap. Okay, in our previous session we have seen how to create this user table. We have assigned all the data types. Now we are going to work on inserting the data inside the database. That is basically we are going to register a user, and whatever data we are having here inside this login form and inside this registration form, whatever data we enter, this entire data we are going to store inside this database table. Okay, as of now we are going to store the data in text format. Later on we are going to do password hashing. Once you get this basic understanding of how to insert the data, then later on we are going to do password hashing and we are going to store hash of the password inside the database. Okay, one by one we are going to see, and also we are going to check for the condition if this username already exists or not. All the conditions we are going to execute one by one so that you don't get confused with the code. Okay, now we are going to work on registration. This whatever values I enter inside this input fields, this entire data we are going to store inside this table. Okay, now you can see this table is completely empty. I don't have any data inside this one. Now I'll come here. Now inside index.php we have done all these things, and here we are having this registration. If you want you can add the link. Later on we are going to make separate session, and in that we are going to add all the links. As of now we are not going to see how to add the pass. We are just going to work on user registration.php. Okay, now basically we are going to work with databases. So first thing we have to do is we have to connect to the database, and for connecting to the database we have already written the code. Inside this includes folder we are having this connect.php. Now this connect.php I am just going to include inside this user registration. I'll just open this one. Now on top I'll be writing this PHP syntax, and here inside this I'm just going to write this include. Now I have to include this connect.php. This is present inside includes folder, so I'll come inside includes folder. Inside that I'm having connect.php. I'll be closing this PHP syntax. I'll save this. I'll refresh this one. Okay, now it is connected successfully. Now for better understanding, let me just come here. If it is connected, then I just have to display this message connected. Okay, just to check whether it is connected or not, and inside this cells I'm just going to paste this one. I'll save this. Now I'll refresh this one. Now you can see here I am having this connected, which means that I am successfully connected to the database. Now I am just going to remove this because I don't want to display that message. So I am just writing here die method. Now inside user registration I have just included this connect.php. Now once we included this, now we can work with databases. We can do lot of stuff using databases. We can insert the data, we can delete the data, update the data, whatever we want we can do once we are successfully connected to the database. Now suppose if I just give here wrong file name, I'll save this, I'll refresh this one, then I'll be getting this warning. Now I am not connected to the database and I will not be able to insert the data inside the database. So it is very important that whenever we are creating any code, and if we are connecting, if we are doing anything regarding database, then we have to connect to the database. Okay, we have created all this form, and also you should be careful on these attributes. We should be having action. Action I have just given here empty because I am going to write PHP code in the same file. Then we are having method is equal to post. Using post method we are going to insert the data. And finally we are having this eng type because we are inserting the image inside the database. So for that we are just writing this attribute. Okay, if you are inserting any image, then you have to pass this attribute inside this form, or else the image will not be stored inside the database. And for each and every input field we have passed this name attribute, and for each we have given these values. Now I'll come here, I'll refresh this one. Okay, entire form has gone. Let me just check for that. Now inside connect I have just not changed this condition. I'll just write here, if it is not connected, only then I have to display this message. Now I'll come, I'll refresh this. Now I am having this form. I'll just close this file. Now for each and every field we have passed this one. Now below this HTML tag I'm just going to write the PHP code. Here I'll write comment, I'll be writing PHP code. And here first I'll be writing this PHP syntax. And inside this first I'm just going to check for the condition. If this particular button is clicked, only then I have to insert the data inside the database. And whatever values I am having here, only then I have to fetch this data. So for that, here I'll be writing if is set, Here I will be writing if is set, and inside this we are passing the data using post method. So here I will be writing post, and whatever value I have passed for this name attribute, I am just going to pass that one. Okay, I am just telling that whenever my this particular session is set, only then I have to fetch the data and I have to insert the data inside the database. Now once we have checked for the condition, now we have to access all the values. Whatever values we are entering inside this input fields, these values we have to access and we have to store inside separate variables. Now first I am just going to create here username. Inside this, using post method, I am just going to access that one. And for this input field, we have just given the value as username. Username. I will just copy that and here I am going to paste. Okay, this is the variable name. This whatever you want you can give, and this is the value present inside the name attribute. Okay, whatever value you have passed inside name attribute, you have to pass here, and that should be exactly matching with this one. Okay, this can be anything, but this should be exactly matching with the name value. Then below that we are having email. I'll just write here user email. Okay, I'm just giving the same variable name so that we don't get confused. And for email I have just given here user email. Let me just check. You can see I have given user email. I'll copy and here I'm going to paste. Then next we are having image. Let me just come on top. Then below email we are having this user image. As of now I am not going to access the image. At the end I will be telling you how to access the image. Then we are having password. I'll just copy this one and here I am going to paste. Below this I will be pasting that one, and also here I will be pasting. Then we are having confirm password. I'll just copy this one and here I am going to paste, and also here I will be pasting that one. Then we are having address. I'll just copy this user address. Here I'll paste that one, and also here I am going to paste. Then finally we are having mobile number, that is contact. I'll copy this and inside this I'm just going to paste. I have accessed all the input field values. Only thing we are left with image. Now for image I'll just copy the same thing. I'll come on top. First I'll just copy this one, user image. I'll copy this and here I'm just going to paste that one, and also here I'm just going to paste. Okay, now for image you can see we are having the type is equal to file. For password we are having type is equal to password, but whenever we are accessing the password field or text field, then we have to write this $post. For file name, okay, that is for image, instead of writing this post we just have to write here files. Okay, for rest everything whatever type it is we have to write here $post, but for image we are just writing here files. And whenever we are accessing images we are going to give two attributes. Okay, that is the name of the image. I'll be writing here name. Okay, I have to close inside single quotes. I'll be writing here name. I'll copy the same thing. Now I am just going to write here temp name. Okay, these two attributes we have to access from image. Whenever we are storing the data inside the database, we are going to store the normal data. But when we store the image, we are having multiple attributes like size, we are having extension, we are having name, temporary name, we are having plenty of attributes for the image. If you want to get more clear understanding on how the images are stored, then I have created complete tutorial on this. You can watch that one for better understanding. Now I am just going to change this one. I'll just write here user image temp. Okay, this is the temporary name of the image and this is the name. Okay, whatever name we are having that, and this will be the temporary name assigned to each image. Okay, we have accessed all these things. You should always take care on this. Whenever we are accessing the image, we should write here files. Now I want user IP address. You can see inside this table I am having one column user IP. Now inside this user IP, whichever user has login, that particular IP address I need. And also inside this card details we are having the IP address, and we have seen how to get the IP address using online. You can see we are having this IP address ::1. Now inside this user table also I need the same IP address. So here I am just going to create one variable. I'll just write here user IP. Inside this, let me just do Control B. Inside this functions folder we have this common functions. Now inside this we have already created the function for getting the IP address. I'll just copy this one, and inside this I'm just going to paste. Okay, if you want to know how we got this, then you have to refer previous sessions. If you are not following previous sessions, then it will be very difficult to understand this concept. If you are following, then it will be easy for you to understand. Now I have included, okay, now I am just calling this function which is written inside common functions.php. Now I have to include this file inside this user registration. So I'll come on top, and here below this I'm just going to include that one. I'll be writing include, and inside this first I'm just going to come inside functions folder. Inside functions folder I am having this common function.php, common function.php. I'll just refresh this one. Okay, now here I am having includes file open stream. Okay, I am getting this error because here I am just including this file, and inside this folder, okay, inside this file also we are including this connect.php. Here also we are including, and here also we are including. So what I will do, I'll come here, and from here I'm just going to comment this out. Inside common functions I'm just going to remove that. Now I'll refresh this. Now everything is working fine. Let me just come to home page. Here also I am having, okay, everything is working fine. We are not having any error. You can just remove this include from common functions.php and rest everything will work fine. Now I'll come to checkout. You can see everything is working. We are not having any error. I'll click on register, and here also I am not having any error, and all the functions whatever we have created, that everything is working. You can see total price is displayed, categories is been displayed. Okay, everything will work. Okay, you will not have any issues if you just remove this include from here. Anyways, we are making this global. If you don't include, then also no problem. Okay, now I have just included this functions, common functions.php. Now we can access this IP address. Okay, this is how we are going to fetch all the data from the database. Now using this particular data, we are going to insert this inside the database. So for that we are just going to write insert query now. Below this I'll be writing insert query. Okay, this is the basic query I am writing. Later on we are going to do password hashing. We are going to check for many conditions if this user is present or not. For many conditions we are going to see. Now here I'll be writing insert query. Inside this I'm just going to pass this one, insert into table name. My table name is user table. Let me just check for table name. My table name is user table. Insert into table name. Now inside this parenthesis I just have to pass this columns. Whatever I am having here, I am just passing that one. I'll paste here. Then I am having user email. Okay, now I have just passed all the columns. Whatever I am having inside this one, I have just passed all the columns. I have not passed this user ID because for user ID I have assigned primary key, and also I have given auto increment value. Whenever I enter new user, this ID will be automatically incremented by 1. Okay, now I have written insert into table name. All the columns I have passed. Now next I am just going to write here values. Inside this I will be writing values. Now here first I am just going to copy this username. In this particular order itself I am just going to pass the values. I'll paste. Now username is varchar, so I am just going to wrap inside single quotes. Then next I am having email. I'll copy this one, and here I am going to paste. Then next again I am having this password. Let me just check. After user email we are having user password. I'll copy this one, and here I'll be storing that one. Then next I am having this confirm password. I'll copy this, and okay, confirm password we are not going to store inside the database, so I am not inserting here. Then next we are having this image. Now I'll just copy this image, and here I am just going to paste that one. Then after image we are having user IP. User IP is stored inside this variable. I'll just copy this one, and here I am just going to paste. IP is also varchar. Then next we are having this user address. I'll copy this variable, and here I am just going to paste. Then finally I am just having this user mobile. For that I am just going to copy this user contact. Okay, user contact field I have not created. We are having username, email, password, confirm password, address. Here I just have to write user contact. I'll copy this variable, and inside this I am just going to paste that one. I'll paste. Okay, I have accessed all the values. I am just inserting the data inside the database. So we just have to write this query. Insert into table name, and these are the column names. In the same order I am just passing this one. Then here I have written values, and wherever whatever I have written here, in the same way I have just passed this values. We are having username, we are having email, then password, user image, user IP address, find then address and this mobile number. Now once I write this query, I have to execute this one, SQL. Let me just write here SQL execute. Inside this I will be passing this one MySQLi query, and this is going to take two parameters. First is our connection variable, and second, wherever we have written query, I am just going to copy this variable, and inside this I am just going to paste. Okay, this is how we are going to execute this one. Now here you can see we are inserting the images as well. Now for images we need one folder, so that the images will be moved inside that folder. So what I am going to do, I will come down. Now here I am just going to write here move uploaded file. You can either write here or you can just write here. I will be writing here, I will be writing move uploaded file, and inside this first parameter we are just going to pass this temporary name of the image. I will copy this one, and inside this I am just going to paste. Then next, inside this users area, let me just do Control B. Inside this users area I am just going to create one folder. I will just write here user images. I will be creating folder. I will just write user images. Now here I have to pass the path. Okay, first we have to pass this temporary file name, whatever we have accessed from here, we are just passing that one. Then second parameter, we just have to pass the path where we have to move the images. Now I have to move inside user images folder. I will be writing that folder name and which image I have to move. Okay, this image name we have already accessed. I will copy this one, and here I am going to paste. Okay, this particular image name will be moved inside this folder, and this will be the temporary image file path, and these images will be moved inside this folder. And also I am just going to wrap inside double quotes. Here also I will be writing double quotes. Okay, this is how we are going to move the images. For better understanding, you can refer the video of how to insert the images inside the database, so that you will have clear idea on this concept. Okay, this is how we are going to move uploaded file. Now below this I am just going to check for the condition. If my SQL execute, if it is successful, then I just want to display this message. Let me just write here alert. I will be writing echo, and inside this I will be writing the script tag. I will close the script tag, and here I will be passing this alert. Alert, data inserted successfully. Okay, later on I am going to remove this. Data inserted successfully. Okay, you can notice here we are not checking for password and confirm password if it is matching or not. Okay, later on we are going to see for that as well. So you don't have to get confused why we are not doing that, because I don't want you people to get overwhelmed by seeing all those concepts. Okay, data inserted successfully. I will be writing here alert. Else I should be getting some error. I'll come to connect.php. I'll copy this, and here I'm just going to paste that one. If data is not getting inserted, then I should be getting this error. I'll come here, I'll refresh this one. Now I'm just going to enter the data. Khanam, email I'll be writing khanam@gmail.com. I'll choose one image. I'll choose this image. Password I'll just give 1234. Confirm password 12345. Okay, even if I give this one, it is going to insert the data, because still we have not checked for the condition. Okay, later in next session we are going to see how to check for these conditions. Then address, let me just write here Mumbai. Contact number 12345678890. Register. I did not get any message. Let me just check inside the database. Now you can see the data is stored inside the database. I did not get any alert that data is inserted successfully, but this data is stored inside the database. Okay, you can see IP address is also been stored. Whatever data I have entered, that entire data is been stored, and also the image is been stored inside the database. Okay, next we are going to see how to display the message, and also how to check for the conditions, if the password and confirm password are getting matched or not. If these are not getting matched, then we should not insert the data inside the database. Okay, what we have done, we have just included this connect.php file, and also we have included this functions.php. Okay, that is common functions, and from common functions we have just removed this one, because whenever we are including this common functions in each and every file, we are already having this connect.php. So again and again we don't have to repeat this one. Then for each and every input field, we are having this name attribute. Now using this, first we are just checking the condition, if my registration button is clicked or not. If it is clicked, only then I have to access all the values. Using this, I am accessing all the values from the input fields. And for image, we just have to write here files. We have to access this name and temporary name. Then we have to move this image inside this folder. Now I'll just come, you can see now inside this users area, we are having this user image, and inside this you can see this image is been saved. Okay, this is how we are going to move images. Before that, this folder was empty. Now whatever image I have inserted, that image is moved inside this folder. Then we have just written this simple insert query, insert into table name. Here whatever we are passing here, that should be exactly matching with the column name. Then values, and these are the variables. Okay, whatever we have created here, we are just passing that one here. And if the data type is varchar, then we are just wrapping inside double quotes. Then finally we are just executing this query. After that, we are just checking for the condition. As of now, we are not getting this alert. Later on, we are going to see how to display the messages. And also in next session, we are going to see how to check for this password and confirm password. And also we are going to see how to check if the user exists or not. Okay, both the conditions we are going to check. Then later on, we are going to work on password hashing.